Hey everybody, what's up? Hope you guys are doing good today, and welcome to the channel. Thanks for taking a few minutes and checking out today's video. And today I'm going to do a little tip on when is the best time to go old school and why it's the best time to use old school techniques under certain conditions. And I'm getting ready to go down to Table Rock Lake for a Fish the Moment on the water lesson here in a little bit. And by the way, if you didn't get a chance to check it out, man, we got a lot of good stuff in addition to the on the water lessons at fishthemoment.com. We got our lake map breakdowns, virtual seminars. We got all of Johnny's, super high quality videos. A lot of good stuff on there, so you can check all that out in addition to these on water lessons at fishthemoment.com. But anyway, what I want to tell you guys about is when is the time to use the old school power fishing techniques, and the answer is it's right now. Table Rock Lake's a prime example of this. Over the past week or so, we've gotten about 5 or 6 inches of rain here in Missouri. It's flooded a lot of the creeks out. It's pushed a lot of dirty water into the back of the creeks and the coves. Lake's coming up, lake's warming up a little bit. And what happens is when all these conditions come through, when the lake starts to get to 50 and the lake's coming up steady and you've got dirty water, that pushes a lot of fish shallow that haven't been shallow in a long time. And the reason that the power fishing techniques that I'm going to show you about here work so good is that these are fresh fish. I mean, these fish haven't been up on the bank all year, for a long time anyway, since last, well, a long time. They've been out suspended a lot most of the year. But when they first come to the bank with the conditions we have right now, they're a little bit green, they're not quite as wary, and this is the time you want to power fish with them. So today I'm just sort of going to go over my arsenal a little bit about what I'm going to power fish with here at Table Rock. And you can apply it to your own lake too. There's no doubt if you have those same conditions. So let me show you guys here what we got. Okay, the first bait I'm going to be using at Table Rock today is just the old school spinnerbait. Like I said, spinnerbaits, they're still as effective as they were years ago. They've been around for over 50 years, but they just don't get fished quite as much anymore. Since the chatterbaits came out and other type of swim baits, a lot of people don't fish the spinnerbait much. But when you're fishing conditions like we have right now, that fresh, dirty water just coming up, it's hard to beat an old school spinnerbait. Just a typical, this is just a 1/2 ounce. I think this is a hog collar model. Number 5 willow leaves on it, gold and silver, blue and chartreuse skirt with a white trailer. Colors, you can't really get locked into colors too much. It's just a matter of matching the water clarity to what you're fishing. I literally use dozens of different colors, so I don't really have a favorite one. This is just the one I've tied on, anticipating, the water clarity that I think we're gonna have at Table Rock, but more than likely I'll have to make some modifications and put something else on. But man, I got it rigged up. I throw my spinnerbaits a lot on a flipping stick. This is the Megabass Alkalies flipping stick right here. I like to fish a spinnerbait in the pre-spawn when you have flooded conditions on a flipping stick, because a lot of times I'll take this spinnerbait and I'll flip it into bushes on the sides of them, just like I would a jig, except I'm reeling it along the side. And you can just fish a lot more accurately with a spinnerbait on a flipping stick. And I really like the tip action on a rod as far as the spinnerbait bite. 20-pound test Seaguar and Vizex line, old school as it gets right there. My second setup is one of my favorite all-time deals. This is a 1/2 ounce lunker lure jig. I use a lot of different ones. I use a lot of the ones made by Jewel Bait Company. This is one of my favorite flipping jigs. It's the old school 1/2 ounce lunker lure. Got my favorite chunk on there. I've got the Zoom Big Salty chunk on there. And this is a key bait right here, man. This is an old school bait. I've been using this combination. It used to be a pork frog before the big salty chunks came out. But when those fish get up shallow in those bushes and the water's dirty and it's early in the year, this big bulky black and blue jig, black and blue tinsel I like, with the Zoom Big Salty chunk is my go-to bait. And I really like tinsel this time of year, guys. You don't know if anybody's used that, but that flash of that tinsel right there really gets a lot of strikes in dirty water. I don't really like it much later in the year, but this time of year I really like it. So these are my 2 power baits right here. This is really all you need right here. Jig and a spinnerbait. That's as old school as it gets. This type of window doesn't last very long. It just, it's all dependent upon how long that water stays. The key is that you have to take advantage of these conditions in the short window of time that you have, because what happens is the water's going to start falling down. Once it peaks, it's going to start falling. The water's going to start clearing up a little bit. It always starts clearing up more in the backs of the coves and creeks first. And then you're not going to have that push of those good fish shallow that will hit these old school power type baits. But man, when you get that window out there, guys, you know, for this time of year, that late pre-spawn, mid to late pre-spawn, dirty water that's a little bit above normal, man, all you need is the jig and a spinnerbait. I mean, you can, there's all that other new stuff out there, the live scoping and the swim baits and the, you know, the big swim baits and the glide baits. You can just put that down. You can pick up a flipping stick with a big jig in your hand and a spinnerbait, and you can catch as many or more than anybody else on the lake. So anyway, I'll let you know, guys, know how it goes. I'll probably do a little bit of filming out there and see if we can get a little bit of video of the trip, and we'll talk to you later.